I think my most defining characteristic nowadays is Taisha Carrington is an artist, or the artist. Outside of that, next in line to art, I'd say are animals. I'm an animal lover. And then third, I'd say an adventurer. So those three things I'd say sums up who Taisha Carrington is. I wouldn't say I discovered it, because it was always there. And it just, I guess, for a very long time, it was so natural to me that I would just hear others comment on it, but it was like hearing somebody comment on the fact that you have shoulders. You know, it's just so natural to you that, you know, you didn't discover your shoulders, you just always had them. So that's pretty much how art happened for me. It just, you know, progressed with me. Okay, I'd have to give a pretty general answer because I dip in all fields of art: painting, sculpture, installation, jewelry, and there's always a slightly different process for all of them. But generally, I start off with, what am I trying to accomplish? When I answer that, then I constantly am searching for inspiration all throughout the day, all throughout the night. And then I get ideas, typically in the shower for some reason, or when I am falling asleep and then I have to hop up and write them down. And then when I get ideas, 99% of the time they're not practical. So then the next step is to make it practical. And then after that, I try to find maybe 2 to 3 alternatives, maybe 10 sometimes. Find an alternative and see then which one is better and narrow it down. And then make the idea something workable. And that's pretty much it for mainly for more 3D stuff, because you have to get work and stuff. And kind of the process as well for drawing. But more 2D stuff, it's a building process. Like, put something down, do I like it, do I not? Go at it again and just keep building layers and layers. This is a very back and forth question for me. I'd say 4 years ago, hands down, the answer would have been 3-dimensional stuff. Within the past year or two, I kind of really opened up to 2-dimensional work. And then there was like a neck and neck balance. And then jewelry came in the mix and it was like, oh, where did you come from? But then there were the 3. And now I'm thinking, well, it's kind of dependent on the work that I'm doing now. It's more 3-dimensional as well. So I'm back at loving 3D more. But it always fluctuates. It really depends on what I'm doing at the moment. Oh, I might get teary-eyed on this one. If there's one person I could collaborate with, it would probably be my past teacher, Dan Buckingham. He taught me in my final semester at college, and he was pretty influential. Just my thinking. This is not to say that a lot of others weren't, but him in particular, just his energy, along with, you know, how we'd work on ideas, really changed a lot of my thinking and my approach. And don't want to get cliche, but he really made me believe in myself a lot. So I'd say if there was somebody I could collaborate with, and I think it would be amazing, it would be him. Because I feel like there's no one thing. You know, with questions like this, people always tend to go to like a pity story, but I wouldn't want it to take that direction. I don't know.
You got a pity story?
No.
Because it was
The pity story being that, you know, I'm not always clear on paths, you know, particularly because of art. Particularly because there are a lot of paths I can take. So it isn't always like, oh, I'm doing this, which might, and I guess I may come off as a very focused person. And believe me, I am. However, I'm focused in a very scattered way. So that's kind of like an up, down, all at once. But I can't think of anything else.
Okay, I answered the question just now before, even though you did.
Yeah, I think I did.
Because I think sometimes too...
And I do think, though, growing, and I mean, 22 is not the oldest, but now I've really come to see that a lot of our thinking, we believe that you need to have a very black and white, very linear plan to be successful, when most successful people don't follow that path at all. And I've realized naturally that hasn't been the path happening for me. But in no way do I regret the very twisty, very windy path that I am taking. You know, different means to the same end. My definition of art would be to capture that which words can't capture. Words or other standard forms of expression can capture. And it does take special human beings to bring art to us. And it is in many forms. I don't only see art as the visual arts, but any form of expression that makes you feel something that you can't really put in words or you can't describe. You know, like you may experience a dance, or you might dance, and like you try to explain to someone and you just can't. Like a lot of times I find myself using sounds because that's the closest thing I can get to explaining what art or what seeing something made me feel or stuff. So it'd be like, that was so, you know, or like, you know, the thing that I saw back there was like bloop bloop. I think that's art. Like just capturing what you can't capture in words. What do I look at?
No, you look at me.
Look at you?
Yeah, so that you won't run into the issue. That
Okay, so I don't look at the camera.
No.
Unless I care.
It's much easier. You don't have to look at me. You don't.
Stare at the wall. That is a prime example.
You remember I messaged you and I told you about it? Because... I'm like, what?
Oh God. Shauna, hyping up people. I live in a world all alone.
Hi guys, well, we've come to the end of our first season of LoveArt. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and also visit our website at hazonlabs.com for more content on the series and on us here at Hazon. Stay tuned.